Let me repeat, it will never happen in my time as president.
I've said it, and I'll repeat it again. Those who are coming to this administration thinking that it's an avenue for making a lot of money are going to be disappointed. They better go to the private sector. That is where people make money, not in government.
Yeah, thank you very much. You have specifically mentioned corruption within the taxation system. What exactly will you do to stamp this out?
The measures are going to be difficult, but there have to be a variety of them, including what I call the ANAS principle, setting up highly motivated professional groups of young people who will work, if you like, as it were, undercover to unearth examples of corruption wherever they can find it, and thereby allow the authority to deal with the issue. Because not only do you unearth the corruption, but you actually deal with it in terms of sending people to court, prosecuting them. Hopefully the courts will cooperate and make sure that the offenders are found guilty and sanctions appropriately enforced. So a variety of measures, but a key one is the ANAS principle, as well as, of course, what you do to securize those who are in the tax collecting agencies. I've heard it being said that I should be careful. Many of these people voted for me, and if I continue this exercise, perhaps they will not vote for me again. If by the grace of God I'm in a position, my party allows me to go again, and I have the health and everything to go again, that I'll not get it again. And I'll say to myself, well, this is a choice that all of us have to make as human beings. You do what you think is right, or do you do what you think will allow you to get along? I think that you do what you think is right. That is what you're required to do. Fortunately for me, in this fight, I have great allies. First of all, within my government. The people who are in the front line of that, all of them are here. The Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. The Minister for Water Resources and Sanitation. Eminent Ghanaians, responsible Ghanaians, who have gone out of their way to lead this crusade. But from the beginning, they said something which is the reason why you are here today. We cannot win this fight without the support of the traditional authorities of our country. Any serious social mobilization of Ghana, since time immemorial, if you're not involved, it doesn't happen. If you, the chiefs of our country, are not involved, it doesn't happen. Fellow Ghanaians, I make these solemn pledges to you, the people of Ghana, to all those who have been dismayed by the level of corruption under this NDC government. I ask for your vote. I am committed to fighting corruption vigorously, and I shall exact the same high standards for members of my government as I have set for myself. I pledge that an Akufo-Addo government, which will be composed of a competent, dynamic team of men and women, will protect the public purse and ensure value for money in all financial transactions for the nation. Ghana today is in crisis. Agriculture, once upon a time the bedrock of our development, is a pale shadow of its former self. Manufacturing is at a very low ebb. Corruption is at its height. Our economy is in tatters.
Inflation is high. Taxes are high. Businesses, both big and small, are struggling. And millions of young men and women are out of work. Incompetence is the hallmark of the Mahama government. Government appointments are not based on merit, but on considerations which are not only puzzling, but also bizarre. Our healthcare system is in shambles with the collapse of the National Health Insurance Scheme. The cost of education continues to be a big challenge for too many families. Young people who have toiled to obtain qualifications are having great difficulty in finding jobs. And there are hundreds of thousands of Ghanaian children who are not getting the kind of education that they need to compete in the 21st century. Ghana is in trouble. There is a need for change in the way in which this country is governed. A change that will make way for a competent, honest, hard-working, well-qualified team to take over the affairs of this country and steer it in the direction of prosperity for all. Instead of the current state of affairs, which dwells on prosperity for the friends and family of the people in power. What excites me is that in spite of all the difficulties, the Ghanaian people have hope. They have hope for a brighter future. They have hope because they believe change is coming.
The $250 million project signed between the government of Ghana and Barari DV Ghana Limited on the 10th of October 2023 is located in Ewoya, Infantiman Municipality in the Central Region. The deal, set to commence production by 2025, includes a 10% royalty and 13% free carried interest in the state, surpassing the existing 5% and 10% respectively for other mining agreements. Since details of the agreement surfaced, many, including the minority and the Institute of Economic Affairs, have criticized the contract. Latest to add their voice to the criticism is the Mass Action for Sustainable Development in Africa.
As a people, we should put an effort into raising money locally. Even if we are about 30 million, how many active people are working? Maybe 6-8 million. If out of that 6 to 8 million, everybody coughs up 100 cedis, what would that give us in the first place? And then our rich men top it up. So that instead of $1 million, maybe he would commit 200,000, another brother of his would commit $100,000. Then we can own some of these activities. Because I believe strongly with the larger numbers, it will be easy to share the risk. Because the key thing is the level of risk. The only thing too with high risk, as we all know, the higher the risk, the higher the return. So if we did it and we made money, the money stays here, then we can venture into the other areas where we may not have explored.
Executive Director of the group, Atik Mohammed, called for termination of the contract.
With the future of Ghana, because when the transition fully happens and is in full force, near said, free oil, just ask can be. And if this is the only substitute, if this is the substitute for oil, now you 2 years book and ye that should be said, you top fuel now, you top you can say oil now we sooner ye be the dear. They are yen ye now. Ye that you know, every high. Until I hear say There's no need for the haste.
The group also charged Parliament to suspend the contract, which is expected to be submitted before the House by the first quarter of 2024.
Maybe somewhere along the line, we need to come up as a nation with a process that has better integrity than what leads to these kind of documents. Because something that needs to be ratified, Parliament has the power to say we ratify or we don't. And if Parliament doesn't, then that's it. And if you see, that is why the entire processes we've been using, as Mr. Kwakuna said, has been wrong. It's been apologetic.
And macroeconomic risks. Then you look at the fiscal regime. So all things being equal, compare 2 countries or 4 countries, geology-wise, they are all endowed. Let's say they are the same level. Then that person is offering better incentives. Randy, why will you take your money? Okay? These are weak. Okay? Maybe it's being sold 1 cedi, the wholesale price. And then store A is selling into 1 cedi 20 pesos. The other one is selling into 1 cedi 40 pesos. Where will you buy it?
1 cedi 20.
That is how mining works. Okay? So when people get up and say, oh, perhaps we should have charged 20% royalty for typical and macroeconomic risks. Then you look at the fiscal regime. So all things being equal, compare 2 countries or 4 countries, geology-wise, they are all endowed. Let's say they are the same level. Then that person is offering better incentives. Randy, why will you take your money? Okay? These are weak. Okay? Maybe it's being sold 1 cedi, the wholesale price. And then store A is selling into 1 cedi 20 pesos. The other one is selling into 1 cedi 40 pesos. Where will you buy it?
1 cedi 20.
That is how mining works. Okay? So when people get up and say, oh, perhaps we should have charged 20% royalty for typical and macroeconomic risks, then you look at the fiscal regime. So all things being equal, compare 2 countries or 4 countries, geology-wise, they are all endowed. Let's say they are the same level. Then that person is offering better incentives. Randy, why will you take your money? Okay? These are weak. Okay? Maybe it's being sold 1 cedi, the wholesale price. And then store A is selling into 1 cedi 20 pesos. The other one is selling into 1 cedi 40 pesos. Where will you buy it?
1 cedi 20.
That is how mining works. Okay? So when people get up and say, oh, perhaps we should have charged 20% royalty for typical and macroeconomic risks, then you look at the fiscal regime. So all things being equal, compare 2 countries or 4 countries, geology-wise, they are all endowed. Let's say they are the same level. Then that person is offering better incentives. Randy, why will you take your money? Okay? These are weak. Okay? Maybe it's being sold 1 cedi, the wholesale price. And then store A is selling into 1 cedi 20 pesos. The other one is selling into 1 cedi 40 pesos. Where will you buy it?
1 cedi 20.
That is how mining works. Okay? So when people get up and say, oh, perhaps we should have charged 20% royalty for typical and macroeconomic risks, then you look at the fiscal regime. So all things being equal, compare 2 countries or 4 countries, geology-wise, they are all endowed. Let's say they are the same level. Then that person is offering better incentives. Randy, why will you take your money? Okay? These are weak. Okay? Maybe it's being sold 1 cedi, the wholesale price. And then store A is selling into 1 cedi 20 pesos. The other one is selling into 1 cedi 40 pesos. Where will you buy it?
1 cedi 20.
That is how mining works. Okay? So when people get up and say, oh, perhaps we should have charged 20% royalty for typical and macroeconomic.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number 1, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number 2, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi, inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi, inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, a very good morning to you and welcome to the program. It's Good Morning Ghana. My name is Annie Efwampofo and we thank God for giving us yet another day to discuss the issues of the country. Today is the 12th of December 2023. I'll introduce the guest after the newspapers. I'll start off with the Daily Graphic and it says 20,000 youth jobs initiative unveiled. All hands on deck to save nation from economic challenges. PNM suspend Lithium agreement, civil society. Why Ghana's lithium agreement is good. So we have two different headlines capturing the debate itself on lithium. Go into that later. The Ghanaian Times newspaper, 120 million Ghana cedis boost for youth employment as VIP launches year business employment assistance program. Catholic Bishops Conference throws weight behind passage of LGBTQ+ bill. 10 illegal miners arrested for mining in Oda River Forest Reserve. Let's give stiffer punishment to individuals, businesses involved in Galamsey. Shraj Force. Daily Guide. Edem in court over woman's death. Very, very, very sad experience. Sad one. Re-examine Barari lithium deal. Belgian new force girl gets 20,000 Ghana cedis bail. Baumia launches year beep for jobs. That's a BEAP for jobs. Farmers commend Brian for driving in innovation. Driving innovation. What was that? So farmers who attended this year's National Farmers' Day celebration in Takwa in the Western region hailed Brian the Champion, Minister for Food and Agriculture, for making significant strides in innovation and development in Ghana's agricultural landscape since assuming office in February. According to the farmers, Mr. Champong has been pivotal in reshaping the way agriculture was perceived in in practice in the country, adding, Daily Guide, the practice should be practiced, not practiced, as in past tense. In the country, adding that under the leadership, this year's National Farmers Day witnessed remarkable changes, breaking away from the traditional cash prize awards. They said that they were enthused about the presentation of the plaques and citations at the 39th National Farmers Day at the University of Mines and Technology Auditorium, in addition to the cash prizes and other agricultural inputs. Also, they said such innovative approach would not only honor the hard work of Ghana's farmers and fishermen, but also instill a sense of pride and accomplishment in them. Enjoy the plaques. The new crusading guide. Year to employ 20,000 youth under the BIAP, Baumia. Controversy surrounding the Ewoya lithium mining lease. Some comments from Kofi Ansan and Free Chikata. KGL Technology breaks into top Ghana Club 100 companies. 10 doctors give health care and massive donations to flood victims at Bediatokope. To the dawns of the Gilded Age, help us, all sage professors. The debate on lithium mining as a case. And then we also have the funeral of lawyer Anthony Akutose on the front page with the new crusading guide. I think it's running a series of it, so you grab a copy and you get the details of, what they have captured. It's not so clear. I think it's a bit shady and ghost-like, so I can't even see the dates well. But court throws out third injunction application against Hormuz estate. The insight, Palestine, or someone say Palestine, the legal fact sheet of crimes committed by Israel, Iranian ambassador writes. The legal fact sheet of crimes committed by Israel, Iranian ambassador. Former President John Mahama, he says, banking cleanup has rendered thousands of skilled Ghanaian workers jobless, impoverished. Democracy deepening Africa poverty and corruption mindset, says Dr. Kofi Amwa. Philanthropist Emmanuel Dankwa donates food items worth over 10,000 Ghana cedis to Good Shepherd Orphanage. The Statesman, the Daily Statesman, more jobs for young people. Year launches program to support 10,000 small businesses. More support for Ewoya lithium mining lease. Cases of unethical content on airwaves increased to 64%. 64.7 actually, that's like almost 70%. Or 65%. West Africa leaders urge to prioritize good governance. The Finder. Leading mining experts school lithium deal critics. Hey. First Atlantic Bank ranked 41 in prestigious Ghana Club 100 awards. 10,000 MSMEs get 120 million Ghana cedis year cash to support hiring of 20,000 laid off new staff. 30% shareholding in Vodafone not for sale. Osu Ekufo, that's Ursula. Ex-Presby moderator urges shift from Western gaze in addressing LGBTQI+ challenges. The Daily Post, how the MPP government deceived the king and the people of Gonjaland for votes in election 2020. My anti-corruption sword will cut both ways, Mahama assures. Justice Sophia Kufu, IEA, urge Parliament not to ratify lithium agreement. Fear grips SHS heads as colleges are interdicted over illegal charges. Economy Times, BOG reserve money shrinks. Universal banks to recapitalize in next 3 years. And green energy agenda thwarted at COP2, that's a COP 28. Opposers amount strong defense Opposers mount strong defense. Green energy agenda thwarted at COP28. Opposers mount strong defense. So let me read a little. It says that all efforts and resources spent to promote global green economy seems to have been a waste as opposers mount a strong defense at the global event. The president of COP28, Sultan Al Jaber, has claimed there is no signs indicating that a phase out of fossil fuel is needed to restrict global heating to 1.5 at the just ended event in Dubai. According to the publication collaborated by The Guardian and the Center for Climate Reporting, Al-Jaber also said that a phase out of fossil fuel will not allow sustainable development unless you want to take the world back into caves. Yo. All right, that's what we have for you for the newspapers. Let's go for a breather. I'll be back shortly.
MTN.
We are back, bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with your front two, with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the partial daily jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
Ready for something refreshing and great tasting for your kids' enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
For your graduation enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
Beach hangout?
Angel Cola.
For all your refreshing moments?
Angel Cola.
For your parties, get-togethers, events, and celebrations, enjoy a chilled bottle of Angel Cola.
Radio Grandma, today is your day. Over to you.
Thank you. Enjoyment Cola.
Angel Cola.
The Enjoyment Cola. Enjoy all your moments and fun time with Angel Cola. This advert is FDA approved.
Yena samenamwa Hisense product bakwa amanfo di wadanse pa sound system e bomusronko bass ya bass treble so a treble ya shada ye ne say onam bluetooth so a connect ma odam niam nyina na watie wo sound papa bi connect your phone am Hisense sound system ne tie onyo enfie bebre ni na Hisense e di abotre ada eniam bi ti say rice cooker, air fryer, ceramic hobby, and you may come bini halogen oven, blenders, hand blenders, and a kettle. A hand mixer, food processor, pressure cooker, contact grill, vacuum sealers, iron, vacuum cleaner, and an ice maker. And you man on ne buo, and they said the entry in Amkania, it's in a grofoni jihosano. Say home appliances and Kwana Opedia. To Hisense, now fear me dawase. Hisense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh bread.
I'm a fair missy way.
Prepacho bantama.
Matiasi.
Psycho.
Her smile,
the fresh breath.
Me Judy said we used to Cal 360 toothpaste. Some kind. Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's Kia. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector. Onim jom kasan. Kile hosen. Cal 360 did the way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
And you will see so feeling to when you know Cal 360 toothpaste. Happy.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
To help meet your business and private printing needs successfully, we have just the right products and services. At Appointed Time Printing Limited, we specialize in digital printing, offset printing, packaging and security printing. Our innovative designs and complete professional touch on our print products such as posters, printing is the solution.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nation.
The pneumatological aberration of the Lord revealed unto me this night, that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited. Up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. At the K Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Valco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafubuachi Hospital Junction. Sakradi. Number 9 Market.
Tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program.
From 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply. The same got to move.
Hey, give it to me. Hey, man. One time. Stop. Enough you guys, so continue.
Prepare yourself to unleash even more moolah by staking from 1 Ghana cedi to 350 Ghana cedis. And you could win 26 times your stake on the exciting new Pick 1 game from Game Pack. Play by dialing *946# on all networks via our website or download the Game Pack app on www.gamepackgames.com. Choose your Pick 1 number from 1 to 36. Place your stake and watch our live draws on Adum TV at 9 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. daily.
Hey, live life like me with Game Pack. Game Pack, more moolah, more power.
This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, not for persons under 18. Play responsibly.
LPM. All right, you're welcome to the program. It's Good Morning Ghana, and today I'm in the studio with Sylvester Tete, who is Member of Parliament for Botiano English Amanfro constituency, and I also have Murtala Mohammed Ibrahim, and he's Member of Parliament for Tamale Central constituency. He hasn't been on the show for how long?
Yeah, it's been long. It's been very long.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
And good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right, so Veta, good morning to you as well. How's it going in your constituency?
No, it's okay.
It's been quite a while since we mentioned the road network in your area. How is it going? Have you gotten? You know, last time you actually were talking to Randy. You mentioned that you need a whole investment, not just a private effort by the MP, but government to come in because the situation is really that bigger than we can ever imagine. Have you made any progress in trying to get support?
Good morning once again, and good morning to our viewers, to my constituents. Randy, just like any other member of Parliament. Sorry? And to my diabolical big brother, Murtala Muhammad, former Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry, former Deputy Minister of Information, as usual, typical of himself. Annie, just like any other member of Parliament, road construction is a core mandate of central government. And the role of an MP in that respect is to lobby and advocate and bring to light the deplorable state of roads or the dangers that deplorable state of road causes to your constituents. And one would agree with me, since my entry into Parliament, in January I'll be 3 years in Parliament. I've never relented on the effort to bring government attention to the deplorable state of roads in the constituency, to the extent that the road minister had to spend over 4.5 hours in my constituency. I brought some of the state of roads requires some storm drains to be constructed, and that is under the Ministry of Works and Housing through a department called the Hydro Department under the Ministry of Works and Housing. I brought the Minister for Works and Housing as well to the constituency. Thankfully, these 2 visits had yielded some positive results, and like I've always said, in the case of the road minister, 40 kilometers of roads have been approved, and a commencement certificate had been given to the Urban Roads Department to award of contracts. As I speak, about 21 kilometers of the 40 kilometers had been awarded, and contractors are on site working. What is the problem is to even get contractors with capacity, because you know government don't give mobilization for contractors, so it takes a contractor with capacity, not any other contractor who wants to do roads that will come in. And I've resisted the temptation of getting a contractor to site on the basis of the fact that people are crying, come to site, and they do just 1 million worth of the race certificate, and they are waiting for government. I've had roads in my constituency that were awarded, some 5 years, some were even awarded under the NDC. Contractors came to, they had to leave because of lack of payment, and we've compiled all those roads. As I speak, those roads are getting paid. Hopefully this week they'll be paid to return to site, including those that have started. So I have about 19 kilometers of roads that are yet to be awarded, even though approval had been given from the Ministry for Works and Housing. So we are still going through with capacity, not any other contractor at all. So that's what we are doing now. So we've seen some significant improvement in the state of roads in the constituency as of now. But it's not that once it started, it doesn't mean that the problem is solved. It has to be completed, and I commend the road minister for... It's not going to be a normal road construction because of the nature of the road. I mean, those who live there knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. If it's for any other contractor, I would have gotten contractors taking the job and they can't do it. I've had areas that contractors have come to site, start the drains, raise certificate 1 million, some 750,000. They've been chasing Ministry of Roads to pay them before they go to site. If you have a contract that cost about 15 million and you are raising certificate for 750,000, how many times will you raise certificate to complete that job? Obviously, it's a waste of everybody's time. Looking at the bureaucratic processes itself goes through to get paid. Obviously, such a contractor do not exhibit capacity to be able to execute the job. So those that we've given them the job now, you see people on grounds know the kind of work they are doing. If you go to the West Hills Mall, Melcombe all the way to Redtop, a Chinese company had done 18 million worth of work, asphaltic, and it's done. It's waiting payment. There's another contractor from Ajasco. People there will bear witness the extent of work they are doing. They have not stopped. Even though they've raised certificate, they are still working. So once they've raised certificate, they are working. The ministry has also processed their payment to be paid. Those who go to site, start, and then leave waiting payment, they are not serious contractors. I've always maintained that the certification of contractors, it isn't, one says that pay them, let them go to work. Most of them don't have capacity, and they want to use a system to build themselves. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think that we should really look at how we build our contractors so that some will even have capacity to go into other neighboring countries. So clearly, road construction has been a problem in our country, where simultaneously every part of this country there's one road construction or other ongoing. And that's what I think that successive governments should be able to look. Most of the places, people are not calling for asphaltic roads or bitumen surface roads, but reshaping where the roads become more trouble. And that is where the capacity of local assemblies is called to question.
I mean, in the case of your constituency, where the whole landscape is just caving in, you know.
I mean, these are serious problems beyond even the municipal assembly.
It's not just about.
If you come to that particular spot, the national security had intervened, a proper assessment had been done. It threatens the security of the entire community. Where the hill is threatened, if it's caging, is not just a road. You see where the vegetation of a mountain had been destroyed and paving way for silt to come into the road. So that's just one aspect of the problem we see. That when there's a blockade on the road, people begin to question. That portion of the road is not spot, but it's the silt that comes to the road that is problematic. What is the source of the silt coming into the road? It's a mountain that the vegetation had been destroyed. So we need to rehabilitate that vegetation to ensure that when it rains, it returns only water. Under that road is a huge drain that will hold any amount of water that comes from the hills to go through the drains.
But how about that junction? You know, when you go past Tobut,
yes,
and then you take the U-turn.
Yes.
There's a junction.
That's Tuba Junction.
Tuba Junction. That road, I hope that one, at least you can do something about it. That's a very minor
It's not a minor job. You see, when you go that's where I live. That road was a bypass constructed during Professor Mills' time when they were doing the Kaswa overpass, right? So it was a bypass through Tuba to go to Budumbrem. Okay? So listeners should listen. So just that small portion, the Tuba Junction and then Mama Africa, the junction to my house, Mama Africa, those two portions are the worst problem. You realize that the entire road from that junction all the way, the road is still intact. It's not too long ago when that road was constructed. But these two portions, what is occasioning that spot? Again, up the hill, if you see that the entire vegetation is destroyed. So when it rains, it brings silt. So even if you fix it, now we have a challenge because the urban road came, we assess the whole situation. We realize that we need to stop the silt coming. Otherwise, no drains that you construct can hold the silt that come. So if you put an asphalt on it today and we don't prevent the silt from coming to the road, it will still be a problem. You know, it's down and the mountains is up there. So it brings the silt and settles on the road. So that's the problem we are having. But we have a solution how to resolve it. Try to rehabilitate the vegetation and have some storm drains up there so that if the road is fixed today, people. So you realize that two portions are the places that we always have a problem. When it rains, it settles there. So people should bear with me. And I've always been on the road ministry everywhere. We are getting there. And like any other member of parliament, people who talk and all that. MP, the job you do is to lobby advocate for it. I can't do beyond. The places that I can do reshaping, out of my own pocket, I bought more than 400 trips of laterite at various places. And I level it and all that. So these are things that I can do out of pocket. Those major ones, I can only advocate for it. I can't do them out of pocket.
I know Mutala want to have a word on that, but Mutala, kindly spare me. Let me go on to Zoom. You know this lithium debate that we've been on for some time with lawyer Isaac Mintalabi. He actually responded directly to Sam Jonah, businessman Sam Jonah, when he also threw his word to support the lithium deal. And he's joined us via Zoom to explain to us what his position, or explain his position to us. So lawyer, good morning to you, and thank you for joining us here on Zoom. You're welcome. I know you're going to call, but thank you for your time. Good morning. Okay, if you can unmute, kindly unmute for us. Hello, lawyer. Okay, he doesn't seem to even hear me because he's not even responding. Oh, I'm wrong. Lawyer Isaac Mintalabi, can you hear me? Okay, let the team work on that, and then maybe we will try again. And as they're working on it, you can have a word. Just briefly.
It is very clear that I can understand the challenges he goes through, but one thing he failed to also let your viewing public understand is that the country is broke. The reason why some contractors are unwilling to invest monies into projects or contracts that have been awarded to them is because a lot of these contractors go in for loans. Now, they go in for loans at exorbitant interest rates from these private commercial entities. Now, the expectation is that once they begin to invest such monies in the projects, government needs to pay as and when certificates are raised. I have indeed interacted with contractors who have started executing contracts given to them by government. At certain stages, they raise certificates, and those certificates have still not been honored, or they haven't been paid. So if you have a contractor who has raised certificate on a project that he's doing for the state and the certificate is not paid, certainly if there is another contract that is given to that same contractor, you'll not be able to do. One thing I've also realized that you can find contractors who are having 3-4 projects at the same time in an environment where you are not even being paid. Now you have started 3-4 projects. You've raised certificates for each of them and the certificates haven't been honored. Naturally, you will have problems. And also, again, it begs the question, when this government repeatedly says that they have constructed a lot of roads and tout themselves that they have constructed roads than any other government. In Tamale Central, I can mention in the heart of Tamale that there are very important roads that have not been constructed. His constituency is in the city. Then what then will be the position of constituencies in the rural areas or rural constituencies? I mean, it's serious. And once these things are not done, there's going to be a problem. And that is why some people had problems with this government when they decided to abandon the toll booth. For whatever reason, we still are waiting for explanation. Right. That could have even complemented some of the resources the state has in doing some of these resources.
Just hold on there. Let me try lawyer once again. Lawyer, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Great. I'm grateful.
I can hear you.
I'm grateful for your time and good morning to you. So let's do a quick one. You've actually made your voice heard also on the debate ongoing on the lithium lease, and you say that you disagree with Sam Jonah, if I'm correct, and you say you have also read the full agreement and you can confidently say that it in no way will benefit the country. Why this position?
Well, good morning to your listeners. Good morning to my colleagues in the studio. And thanks for this opportunity. The bottom line is that if you read carefully my press release or article on this subject matter, you will find that I argue from a certain angle. And that angle is the nature of the contract that has been signed. And then you will find that essentially there are 3 major types of contracts when it comes to minerals, extraction, development, commercialization, etc. Now, in these 3 kind of different contracts, each one comes with its limitations and benefits. The highest and the best has proven over the years to be what we call the service contract. Because in that contract, you basically pay the investor to produce for you, and then you retain 100% ownership. Of course, it could be variated to some extent, but the bottom line is that is the top of the line. When we talk about all the agreements, the number 1 and the best is the service contract or agreement. From there, you move on to the joint venture or the production sharing agreement, PSA. In this contract, it's based essentially on percentage basis. Then, of course, you move on to the list. And for me, I keep on insisting, I call it the lazy approach, which is the lease agreement, which we have been, as a country, signing all these years for pretty much all our minerals. The ones we know, and until recently, the lithium. You find that in any lease, ownership changes hands. For example, if you build a property and you rent it out, it is a lease. The lessee becomes the new owner of the property. And in law, you have to give peace and quiet enjoyment of that property to the new owner, which is the lessee. So if you enter into a lease agreement for any mineral, ownership is lost, essentially. The only thing that you benefit from is the royalties, the taxes, the levies, and all those things. But you see, if you compare that to the service agreement and that of the joint venture, ownership is retained in the above two. But when you come to that of the lease, you lose it. And the ownership is what entitles you to be able to manage the numbers and have access to the numbers, which will ultimately determine the income or the profits that the government can derive. So let me give you an example. In a leasing agreement, the government does not own any part of the company. That is one. Two, because you don't own part of it, essentially, or they say carried interest. But carried interest comes with a lot of limitations. For example, you may not have a board member of the company. You may not operate in any managerial role of the company. And that is where you get access to the real-time numbers, the figures. If they are selling 20 and they come and tell you we sold only 5, how would you know? If they sell 100 at the price of 1 cedi and they come and tell you we sold 5 at the price of 50 pesos, how would you know? So at the end of the day, I do not know of any leasing agreement which has developed a country. If anybody knows of any leasing agreement in a mineral resource which has actually benefited the country to the extent that they are fully developed, well, I'll revise my notes. But what has actually proven over the years to be developing countries is the service agreement, and to a larger extent out of the joint venture. And so my concern here is that no matter how hard you try to twist and turn a leasing agreement, it can never be amongst the best. You know, I've seen a couple of articles that other people have written, you know, in defense of this lease agreement. And some even go to the extent of saying that, you know, based on the numbers, you can even make more money even in a lease agreement than a service agreement. And my concern is that if that happens, then it means the service agreement was poorly done. Because there's no way you enter into a service agreement and somebody in a leasing agreement comes to benefit more than you. It means it was poorly executed. You understand? So that is where I am coming from. And for all these years, we've used the approach of a leasing agreement. And so far, we have nothing to show. So why should we continue? That is my question. When there are other alternative options out there, which are proving to be very good. One major concern others have raised is the fact that we don't contribute money to take the risk into, you know, prospecting and exploration of the mineral resource,
Exactly. I was actually going to raise that point, because with service contract, that it means that you would have to go into that. And we have also raised concerns about how geological survey has not been, you know, financed to carry out such works. And so we are unable, you know, to come from that angle and go for even a service agreement if we think that that's deemed best.
Yes. That is a concern, but you see, there are so many ways of approaching it. For example, you could pay off the investor. How about that? Whatever money he has invested into the exploration, you could pay off the investor. And the law is the one who spent his money. And so he has the right of first refusal. And that right of first refusal, what you do is that once you pay off the investor for the risk he took and the money he has spent, probably this one, I call something we call financial engineering. You understand? And so you could work out numbers in such a way that the investor gets compensated somehow, but he gets the full returns of his investment. That is one option. And that gives you the country the leverage to say that, okay, now I've paid you off. And so you have the right of first refusal. My option on the table is a joint venture or a service agreement. If you are ready, you know, you can propose some terms. We can discuss, we can negotiate. That is the point. You see, what I'm saying is that the world is moving away from fossil fuel because the current technology we have in this world is built around fossil fuel. Now the world wants to move away from fossil fuel to green technology. And lithium forms one of the core base of this green technology, which the world is trying to move on. And so if you are lucky as a country to be able to have this kind of mineral, You don't shortchange yourself in an agreement that will always keep you down. That is my concern. Because you see, then the future that is coming, you are already, limiting your ability to be able to access enough. If we were unable to do that in the past, there's a future that is coming. We must do things right now. We could also do what we call capitalization, the process of capitalization in which the investor, as part of a joint venture, could capitalize his investment over a period of time, which he gets all his money invested in the exploration, over a period of time. So we could engage in financial engineering in such a manner that we quickly do away with all these leasing agreements, go into a joint venture or probably a service agreement, so we can have tremendous benefit. That is where I'm coming from. So if you put a leasing agreement before me, I'll reject it, because I don't see how you can tweak it to make it better than a service or a joint venture in which I have the control, I have access to the numbers, and so I know you sold 100. If you sold 1 or 2 cities, I know you sold there are 2 cities. So if a mine is 40%, I can do my calculation and I'll know exactly how much I can make. But in the leasing agreement, it's the person that goes to the market and brings you the numbers. So if you go outside there to tell you I sold 1,000 and then meanwhile you sold 5,000, how do you know? That is why we lose. You see, I'm telling you that the reason why we lose, we don't make money, is that we don't control the numbers that are given to us. It is the investor who generates the numbers, and so he determines how much you make at the end of the day. So it is not the paper agreement. It's about you retaining ownership in a manner that will allow you to have access to the numbers. If you look at a statement that was released yesterday by Fuichi Kata, one of our renowned, lawyers, what he was proposing, to fix this kind of particular problem was that,
together.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, what they were proposing to resolve this kind of particular problem was that the government could hire a commodity research company that can provide the government with, pricings on the market. But the question I'm asking myself is, if you own the resource, you can own the company, then you can have access to the real-time numbers and know how much you can get. Why do you ship off the resource to an investor, lose control over the numbers, and then go and look for money to go and hire a commodity research company to come and provide you with the numbers? I mean, how? Why would you do this to yourself? That aside, how much money are you making in the first place to want to even give money out, take money out to go and pay a different company to come and give you numbers? It could even lead to dispute. You know why? Because whatever numbers that research company will bring to you, the investor can dispute it. They can dispute it. So why would you put yourself through this kind of situation? I disagree. Entirely.
So, but you spoke with Mr. Isi, and according to your article, there are some novel part of the lease that he said was going to be beneficial to Ghanaians. What do you make of those novel clauses?
Let me give you two areas that he is talking about. One of it is the compulsory social responsibility, and the other is the fact that the company will list on the stock exchange, Ghanaians can buy shares, etc., etc. Look, all of this does not make any difference. You know why? Because every company can engage in social responsibility activities. If we set up our own company to run this whole lithium enterprise, of course, the company will have, even GMPC, they give money out for so many activities. Don't we hear about it? So these are not anything that can, for me, can convince me. If you want to talk about shares, well, MTN, listed on the stock exchange, allow people to buy. I don't know how many profits Ghanaians have earned out of that. When the company is in control, there's no way you can be able to, determine exactly how much you can make. They tell you how much you can make. It's simple as that. And that is, you see, this is inherent in what we call ownership. If you once you retain the ownership, that entitles you to have control in a manner that allows you access to the numbers, and it is out of the numbers you can make the maximum profit. And so you cannot ship off the resource and then come back and say Ghanaians can buy. I mean, the bottom line is that it is only when the company declares dividends that you can profit. If the company does not declare dividends, you own shares for nothing.
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from.
Lawyer, I think we'll leave it here. and definitely will engage you again as this debate still continues. We're seeing what Parliament will also do. I know that IEA is pushing for Parliament to reject the lease agreement.
Yes. Yes, I'm in support of that. And I'm urging Parliament to reject this agreement. And as we go back to the drawing table, we can work out the numbers again in such a manner that whatever investment the company has done in its exploratory activities and taking on the risk can be capitalized in a manner that they can get all their money back, whilst retaining at least a certain portion of ownership in probably in a joint venture. Ghana can also retain our mineral resource, maintain our ownership, and that would grant us, managerial as well as board membership, etc. Effectively giving us access to the numbers, know what is going on the grounds, then we can get our money. That's the only way we can maximize our profits and our benefits from this mineral resource and get enough money so we can develop our country instead of going begging bonds, IMF, etc. It's embarrassing. Enough is enough. Over 60 years of independence, we need to change the way we do things.
Lawyer Isaac Mintalabi, I'm grateful for speaking to us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right, you are now allowed to go to court, and that's a private legal petitioner who also, shared his opinion. Was very quite direct to Dr. Sam Jonah, who also thought that the deal is a good one. Let's come straight into the studio on that. Maybe before I make some money. Sylvester, we're being complacent, aren't we?
I'm happy that the interest the good people of this country have shown in the lithium agreement that has been signed. But it's not the end of it. The company, the government, and the ministry knows that the good people of this country will have to consent to this agreement before it becomes binding on any of the parties, i.e. Parliament, for that matter. And so we represent the good people of this country, and if the good people of this country are speaking, I incline to believe that those who are speaking, all of them might have had some knowledge in the industry. Not all of them are speaking on the basis of the fact that how much is coming to Ghana, and that is paltry if you choose to describe it as such. Because if you look at the estimated tonnage of lithium that we are talking about, it's about 25 million tons of lithium that we are talking about. And if you look at the projected price on the world market, then you are looking at about $33 billion that will be accruing to the company. And the 10% royalty is obviously coming to about 3.5 billion that will be coming to Ghana in the space of the agreement that is being signed today. So that is so worrying to any Ghanaian that is looking at the numbers on the face of it. Again, some other angles of the argument is being pushed from civil society, industry players, and all that. If you look at Sam Jonah, is reputed to be one of the giants in the mining in this country, and even in the world as it stands. But what he has done over time in Obuasi and its mining in general in Ghana, I believe that if you look at Ghana and South Africa, if you should go back and renegotiate, he will not be negotiating on the terms he did for Ghana over these years. Clearly, if you go to Sun City and if you come to Obuasi, there's a sharp difference. And Ghana being the third largest producer of gold on the basis of the agreement we signed in time past. So I think that we must all be sober in these times. I think if you look on the basis of the agreement signed, it's the best in the history of the world. It's the best in the history of our country. Being the 10% royalty that we've been able to negotiate and sign, that if you compare that to the previous agreement as it were, people are pushing that, look, lithium is now the hottest mineral on the world and is going to feature prominently going. So therefore, your strength to negotiate is better. You stand in a better position to negotiate than any other mineral assistance now. So if you look at the 10%, overall, for the first time, like people are saying, let us capitalize whatever expenditure they are doing in the pre-exploration and then the investment in all that, to look at how much that comes in the value of 133 billion, then we can also take a better stake. But if you look at what have been negotiated so far, it is not true, what the lawyer said, that Ghana has no equity in the company at all. We have 19% equity in the Barari DV company. And for the first time, there is a value addition component of the agreement that is enforceable and is mandatory, that we should have a local or in-country refinery. You cannot take the raw lithium out. So there's value addition, and the stake of Ghana is 19% in this.
Yes, but the local refinery is on condition. It's not like it's stated in the agreement that yes, we should have a refinery, but it's on condition as and when. I think I will just get there and read directly exactly what it says in the agreement. But go ahead.
Yes, so again, there will be an element of value addition that will not take out the raw material, and Ghana's stake in that is quite significant. People should be able to speak to numbers, and let's discuss this on the basis of numbers, investment, risk, and all other factors. That is why it is important that whoever has any information. I heard an interview of somebody who was interviewed, and the person has not even read the agreement. So people who had read it, like the former Chief Justice, senior members of society, even the Council of State member, Samoku Jeto and all that. These are highly respected senior citizens of our country who I believe Christian Council might have read it, and they have lawyers and advisors. Whatever information they have, they should make it available to Parliament, especially the Select Committee on Mines and Energy. Mutala, I hope you are a member. Yeah. You are not a member.
No, he's on trade, right?
He's on trade. So we should be able to make all relevant documents available. At the time of signing this agreement, I'm not sure the ministry is set to do this country in. But it is not to say that somebody want to do this country in. No. Whatever information available to them, they should make it available to the committee or to Parliament, as it were. That will inform Parliament's own debate. We may not be experts in the field. So if you have useful document comparable to any other jurisdiction that you think will give Ghana an advantage, if you should stand, it's not enough to say that don't ratify the agreement. It's not enough to say. There must be basis for the reason that we are not ratifying the agreement. Ghana stands to benefit, but we want more. If we want more, what are the compelling arguments that will push Parliament to stand and say, like, go and amend these portions of the agreement and come back? It may be that when they go back, of course, whatever Parliament decides, they go back to the ministry to renegotiate based on the terms the Parliament will propose. There may be a push, but there will be room for negotiations and all that. So I believe that it's not true when people want to say that Ghana has no stake in it at all. There's a stake beyond the 10%.
I think the argument is not Ghana having a stake.
No, that's what he said.
Yes, but I think that it's like we have a stake, but I think the stake is not enough, and so they will rather reduce it to 0. 19% is no stake at all.
No, but they shouldn't also say that. Look, you see, whatever we are doing, there are practices all over the world. There are standards, investment, risk that are being done all over the world. There is no country in the world. There are countries that has more lithium deposits than our country. There are countries that have practiced this for so many years. What is the best practice? I mean, when we had oil, we went to Norway to learn from Norway, we went to the Scandinavia, we went to many other jurisdictions to look at the best practices to help us put our laws together. Today, what we are doing now, what Ghana has been able to sign with this company is the best in the world, and nobody is disputing that. But if you are saying that we still need more, yes, I'm not closing down that chapter. People should bring reasons, and as they are using them, it's not enough to say that we have only royalties, we are paying royalties and all that. Yes, if you want to move away from royalties, I agree with you that, look, we want to own part of what we are doing. Again, this argument...
That argument of lawyer.
Lawyer, yes, I agree with him. What does it cost to be a partaker in this? It's something that should be open on the table. That, yes, I have my mineral. You are an expert in mining and doing all these things. How much does it cost you to be? Let's quantify what we have to be a partaker rather than just paying me royalties. It's a fair argument to make for the good people of this country. At what cost? What does it cost this country to take that decision? That is what we must know. And whether or not you have a strategic partner to go with you on that line is another matter altogether. So I'm saying that, yes, what has been put together from the point of ministry and what we have come to know is the best in the world, it is not true that Ghana don't have any other stake apart from the 10% royalty that is going to be paid to Ghana. I know also of this clause, you're trying to get the exact clause, that it is not binding, it is compulsory.
Even in that, I just saw something. I'm concerned, a lot concerned about the Ghana Geological Authority, Survey Authority. And in point 6, notification of discovery of other minerals, it says that the company shall notify the Commission and the Ghana Geological Survey Authority of the discovery of an occurrence of any other mineral in the lease area, apart from the minerals and subject of this mining lease.
Yes, of course, that's how it's done.
And you see, that's the concern of lawyers.
What is the concern?
How honest do you think you can actually, or we can actually get the information?
No, but
we have Ghana Geological Survey Authority.
Yes.
Ghana Geological Survey Authority must sit down and wait for this company to be prospecting. As and when they find some mineral, they should inform us.
But how did you even identify the lithium in the first place?
By exploring.
It's by exploring. Now you have been given a lease, okay, to mine lithium. In the process of mining lithium, you chance on another mineral. By the terms of the agreement, Ghana cannot be a police 24-hour in the process of mining. No, even the gold mining concessions, there are minerals that have been discovered in their concessions. You are obliged by law to report it. You cannot take any mineral and export it out of this country just like that. And any mineral in commercial quantity, you need to report it. So it's a normal global standard practice. Ghana could not be saying, so what are you going to do? You have been a concession area to mine lithium and you chance on gold. So are you going to take the gold away? You have to report it.
That's because we went for the lease agreement.
No, but of course,
if we're going for service contract.
If you go for service contract, the person doing the servicing for you, the person you contract, obviously Ghana will have to contract somebody to do it for you. Okay? The company that you contract to do the service for you will also have to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So the issue of honesty in disclosure, it's either in a service agreement or royalty agreement.
But I believe the risk is less.
I wonder what the risk will be. Today, if Ghana has money and want to do oil exploration and want to go into lithium mining and all that, there are experts we need to import into this country to help us do that. So the issue of loyalty to your state and all that, I believe that these are reputable companies and all that. It doesn't mean that once you've given them, you go to sleep. They come to tell you, look, as we speak now, there are revenue assurance of even our gold mines in this country we've not done in many, many years. So there are ways to even check the volumes that you are mining on daily basis and report. If anybody says that because it's a royalty agreement, they will not disclose all that they've had or they are getting from the concession, I think that this belongs to the Stone Age times that will say, but today, the technology, the quantity, the processes is disclosed. But if we are moving into an area of service agreement, fantastic. So that Ghana will get more. At what cost? What does it cost Ghana to sign service agreement rather than royalty agreement as it were?
Yeah.
So we should look at other components of the agreement and run that against the risk of not going for service agreement. What Ghana need? Do we have the resources? Do we have the capacity? Do you have all the things available? Let's make all these things available to all of us and not to run on emotions that we are getting only 10%. Yes, if we say that to anybody, only 10%, obviously it's not enough. People will scream. At what are you screaming? There's a risk factor. Are we prepared to bear the risk and all that? But of course, the deposit of lithium, even bauxite, in recent time, in what we have noted, the bauxite region, what do you call it, Minahini, to be huge deposit out of further studies have shown that we have more than 10 times more what we initially wanted to sign agreement with. So obviously, perhaps the 25 million tons we are talking about may be more, or different part of this country will have discovery of lithium. Are we going to sign the same agreement going forward? I'm happy that civil society in the whole country is really discussing this, and it will inform parliament decision. And many, many other people may be called to support their argument with proper documentation, not on the basis of emotion. No, I will not subscribe to that. So we should look at other components, not to be taking this agreement on the basis of 10% royalty. We have a stake up to 30%. The foreign partner will not have more than 70% stake. Maximum is 70%.
That's on the Ghana Stock Exchange?
Not necessarily on the Ghana Stock Exchange. The interest, the 90% interest. As on the Ghana Stock Exchange to get
we're supposed to, on the stock exchange, that's
yes,
if we
yes. That's what we float shares for Ghanaians to also own part of it. Many other agreements we've signed have not those components in it. So there's a better deal than previous ones we've signed for this country. However, if there's a call for further action, I think it's in the right direction, and we should not dismiss it on the basis of the fact that it's been signed. Parliament is the ultimate institution that will ratify it, and I believe that the discussion will also inform Parliament position on this matter. And those on the committees, the select committee, beyond the select committee, their report will even come to the plenary, and all of us will have a bite to the report before Parliament takes a decision. So I believe that it's a good thing that for the first time we are scrutinizing government action, and I think civil society. If you look at the people discussing this matter, Sam Jonah is on one side, former Chief Justice Sam Okudzeto, and many other
so we have
people who are
we have former Sam Okudzeto and former Chief Justice Sophia Kufu and IEA on one side. Right. The religious leaders are also with them on one side. They are against the lease. And then we have Dr. Kwabena Donko, Sam Jonah, and maybe a few on the other side, 4. And then maybe Chikata and Kofi Ansah, also 4.
Yeah, so if you look at the 4 and against.
The person I'm waiting for is Martin Amidu.
No, please. I mean, he's not an expert. He's not an expert in
he's not supposed to be an expert, but
he's a lawyer. But he's not a lawyer. If you look at the people 4 on the basis of, that's why I say people should bring compelling argument, not on the basis of emotion.
Right.
Without
I actually like the fact that Kwabena Donko is on the minority side.
Donko is not on that side. He is completely misconstrued.
But I'm coming.
He's misconstrued?
Yes.
Hey.
When I have my... Read the statement.
I read it yesterday.
What did he say?
He supported it, but he gave certain conditions
Exactly.
that can make it better.
So
he thought it's a good deal, but we can still make it better.
That's the point we are all making.
Not on that side.
That's the point we are all making. It shouldn't be us against government. No. This is for Ghana.
Yes.
And I'm happy that, look, this deal is open to everybody to discuss it. We've had deals in previous times that people don't even get the opportunity to read or to see the content of it. The Christian Council, all the people, with all due respect to their competence and other things, they are not noted for industry players compared to the likes of Kwabena Donko, how do you call it, Sam Jonah, and many industry players. It doesn't mean that what they know or what they've done in the past. I've cited Obuasi experience to you, and then what made Sam Jonah became a knight, was knighted in the UK and all that. If you go to Obuasi today, it's a pale shadow of itself. Yeah. With the amount of volumes of gold that has been exported out of this country on the basis and the terms of the same royalty system that we've practiced over a long time. So the whole country should sit down. If you want to shift from that, on what terms, cost, risk to this country with which we want to shift. That's more important. So it should not be on the basis of emotions that we want more. On what terms do you want the more? These are things that we should be interested in. I haven't seen Kwabena Donko's position yet, but he's a ranking member of the Mines and Energy Committee.
Yes, I mean, if they can find me the newspaper that captured him yesterday, I would, yes, go ahead.
My friend repeatedly says that the discourse should not be that of emotions. It should. It's an emotional issue.
Oh, please.
I listen to you. It should. It's an emotional issue. It's something that borders on resources that belongs to all of us. And therefore, it is important that people attach emotions to it when the needed or necessary consultations were not done by the minister and the ministry and this government in entering into such an arrangement. I see the reaction of the minister and my good friend here as mediocre at best. They are celebrating the fact that we have been able to negotiate and increase the royalties from 5% to 10%. I see it as a mediocre response because could we have had better? And again, this argument of this is the best, the whole world, where is he getting that information from? Who determined what is the best arrangement in terms of lithium or any minerals with any country? Who determines that? As a matter of fact, Chile has what is described as marginal progressive royalties. And for me, it's better than what we have entered into.
Marginal progressive
royalties.
Oh, okay.
So as and when the value of that particular mineral increases, the royalty also what? Increases. That is far better.
So our situation is not the same.
It's not. So that is far better than the arrangement we have had.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I say Chile has what they call marginal progressive royalty.
What does that mean?
So assuming that the royalties they are paying for Chile, example, if Chile has lithium or gold, is 10%. As and when the value of that particular mineral increase, the royalty also increases.
But that's how it is.
No.
You have 10% of the value of whatever you do.
This one is
so
within
in this
15 years.
deal with the average sale price.
Yes.
This one in terms of sale price.
Exactly.
Average sale price, lithium concentrate over the life of the mine is 1,410 per ton.
Within 15 years of the arrangement.
Which means that it's hedged.
Yes. It's not the same. But
so what's the price today?
No, listen.
I haven't checked the price today, but the average sale price that we have in the deal is $1,410 per ton.
Good.
So for the life span of the mine, that's going to be the price, whether it goes up or it goes down. It doesn't have to do with royalties.
Absolutely.
This has to do with the price.
Exactly. I'm saying that they have what they call as marginal progressive royalties. And for him to say that this arrangement was the best in the whole world, that's why I find very, very ridiculous. In Ghana, yes, you can say that. And you can say that on the basis of the fact that we have been able to negotiate to increase the royalties from 5% to 10%. But it is important for us to look at the amended Minerals and Mining Act 703 of 2006. Specifically, Section 25 says that the ministry may prescribe the royalty rate. The ministry may prescribe the royalty rate. There isn't any specificity as to what the royalty rate will be. It depends on what the ministry described based on the negotiations they have with yes. Section, that is Act 703, 2006, specifically Section 25. So the ministry may prescribe the royalty rate. Now, the prescription of the royalty rate, it depends on the negotiation the minister or the ministry responsible for that has with the company that is getting into this. It's important for us also to understand, Annie, this will be a pioneer lease of lithium that we are having with any entity. And therefore, you cannot arrange a particular royalty rate with one particular entity or company, and then another company comes to do same, and then you want to have a variation. That is why civil society organizations and other people are calling that the minister should have looked at the same law. That is the same Minerals and Mining, Act 703 of 2006, specifically Section 110, subsection U, which says, among others, that the minister can or may regulate through LI to prescribe a specific royalty rate. So what the minister has provided, the 10%, is not specific. The same section, the same act, provides an opportunity for the minister to bring an LI to Parliament in terms of determining a specific rate for this, such that if you have another company that is coming to engage in the same, mining of lithium in this country, then you can have a specific rate that every company that comes, this is how much you are going to pay. And for me, that is problematic. And you have civil society organizations who have raised issues on this nature. Again, another issue that indeed is making people to wonder, and I'll come to a point of the statement made by the former Chief Justice. The rush by the ministry to do what they did. You see, if you study the approval of recommendation letter by the minister and the mining lease, agreement, revealed that they bear the same date. Annie, the approval letter of recommendation by the minister and the mining lease bear the same date.
Oh.
Just go read the approval letter, approval letter by the minister and the mining lease bear the same date. So is it that they looked at the approval on the same day and the lease bear the same date? These are some of the questions people are asking. What is galling in all this,
The
Annie?
20th day of October.
Yes. What is galling in all this, Annie, has to do with the statement made by the former Chief Justice. He says that he is happy that this thing is opened to discussion. And you have reputable individuals in this country who have engaged in this. By the way, and you don't need to be an expert in mining to be able to proffer a solution on this issue. You just need to have common sense. You don't need to be an expert. Now, if you listen to the former Chief Justice, she seemed to be accusing some individual or entities of taking bribes. Read the statement she made at the IEA program. And for me, that warrants an investigation by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. And I want to use your medium to call on the Office of Special Prosecutor, whose mandate is to investigate corruption, more so political corruption, that such a statement was not made by just any individual.
So let me read this one, what my producer provided. The Chief Justice Sophia Akufo has reiterated her stance on the Ghana-Barari DV Limited deal, arguing that the country will forever be entangled with the International Monetary Fund, IMF, if it continues to sign similar agreements on the other natural minerals. She bemoaned that the country's pensions for loans, or pension for loans, from the IMF since independence, despite its natural resources. The former Chief Justice said, gold, diamond, oil, bauxite, those are what we call traditional minerals. All these have been there. Since we became independent, we have been going to the IMF, borrowing with all kinds of terms, and we ask ourselves why. There is this adage that if you are doing the same thing, don't expect different results. If this is how you are going to continue to exploit and extract your resources or your natural resources, don't expect to be free from the IMF. It becomes like a cyclical malaria. So she called on the government to learn from the other countries that are exploring lithium. We should, quote, we should be exploring each year. We should be looking at similar situations in terms of resource availability, resource finding, and what they are doing. That is what we are saying. We don't have to go back into the royalties, she opined. So her ladyship further suggested that Ghana should leverage on the money market. She charged the various appointees to do their homework well in order to make proper recommendations to the state. There are so many variations, modules, which somebody should do their homework to be able to be in a position to recommend a number that will suit Ghana with all the figures and all that, and all that is in it. Simply ask yourself the question, is this formulation of an agreement for the exploitation of our national wealth as good as it could ever possibly be? The former Chief Justice asked. And this is another part, that's another part of strong-worded.
I would urge your producer
to get that bit that
the statement she made at the IEA program. I mean, I think that for me, this one is virtually
we have the videos. I'm not so sure. I think we have some videos. Let's play and see if we can get that side.
So I'm saying that statement for me is huge.
That she's suspecting that someone is benefiting from it.
If you listen to the statement or read the statement she made, clearly there are a lot of questions that ought to be asked. And I'm saying that if you look at the rush with which this thing is done, for me is problematic. She also suggests that she thinks that Parliament should not ratify this. I don't think that there could be anybody better positioned in terms of looking at the legality of the issue we are discussing here in the matter of those who have taken positions, as you mentioned, Sam Jonah and others on one position, and the former Chief Justice and lawyer Okudzeto on the other position. They are raising legitimate questions, and I think that they ought to be looked at. Look, we agree that the Constitution allows any minister or government to enter into such arrangement with an international entity, but they need to come to Parliament for ratification. And that is where I think there will be a huge problem. So yes, 10% is an improvement. 10%, which is an improvement on the 5%, was the basis on which the likes of Dr. Kofna Donko and Co said this is a very good arrangement. If you read the position of Mr. Sam Jonah, he seemed to also be suggesting that if you're able to negotiate it from 5% to 10%, then it will be better off than the arrangements we have earlier. Are you getting what I'm saying? No, yes, I've seen this.
Okay.
I've seen this.
I was actually helping Sly since he didn't.
Seen this, but you read the statement he made. All of them, if you ask me, if I take it on the face value, okay, negotiating the royalty from 5% to 10%, I would say, yes, that is good. That is an improvement. But could we have done better? The people are investing about $250 million. How much are we using to build the Bank of Ghana offices? Now, someone says that the exploration, they spend their money to do that. You think that someone will do exploration in a vacuum You think that they would have spent money for the purposes of exploring to find out whether we have lithium if they didn't have some evidence that they could find lithium.
We're even told that the monies you guys have been approving, the budget you've been approving in Parliament, allocations to the Geological Survey Authority is not even enough to pay their salaries.
So how more or less, whose capacity ought to be built to be able to do some of this thing? So when I hear the argument that yes, they spend their money to do the exploration, couldn't the state also take that risk, considering the scientific, information they had on the basis of we having this lithium? Look, Tesla is projecting by 2030 that they will be needing about 1,000 kilotons of lithium. So it means that the demand is going to be huge. The BBC has said that if the Paris, agreement is something that is to be realized fully, it means that the demand for lithium is going to be very high. I mean, that is the new oil. We are moving from, fossil fuel to electronic vehicles now.
Yeah.
And that is what is happening. So there is a huge demand, and the prospects of demanding more and the value going high is very high. And that is why people are saying that, yes, there is an improvement from 5% to 10%. But considering the fact that the prospects are very high, could we have had better than we have had? And I think that we need to look at it in that perspective. No one is accusing anybody for engaging in any crime, but people are raising legitimate questions. People are asking that whether we could have done better than we have done. And for me, it's a legitimate question which ought to be taken on board. I agree with the aspects of the statement that, look, Parliament would have to do an independent work. I just hope that Parliament once again will not sheepishly agree with anything that is brought.
I was going to ask you.
Yes, Parliament will once again not sheepishly agree with any arrangement that is brought to Parliament by government, particularly my colleagues from the NPP side. Because you see, when we have an issue that confronts us as a state, I expect that for once we need to move away from these political lenses and look at it as a state. And that is why it is not surprising that you have active or founding fathers of your party who have seen very wrong things with this arrangement, and they have taken the side. Majority of those who are against this are not just the former Chief Justice and then Okujetu and co. Most civil society organizations have problems with this. Most civil society organizations. And in defense of the critical questions people are asking, they are quick to remind us that, oh, we have improved from 5% to 10%. The question is that could we have had better than we have had?
So
we have indeed engaged in this investment by ourselves as a state, even if it warranted us getting a loan to engage in this exploration, knowing very well that these guys are smart. They won't come and explore if they were not convinced that they would be able to get lithium in this country. Couldn't we have done that? And I think that for me, these are very critical.
These are some of the wishes of Dr. Kwabena Donkor, or opinions or advice. In his opinion, the most important thing the nation should look at is the mining of green minerals holistically, stating that he would prefer a law that either comes under a legislative instrument specific to green minerals or an amended of the existing mining and minerals law to make provision for green minerals.
So, and that is not how this arrangement is captured. So that is why I said that anybody who thinks or says
but
that
it doesn't necessarily mean the agreement should capture that. He is just...
No, what he's saying or what he prefers. And I've said that all those who think that this is a very good arrangement, they think so or they say so based on the fact that we have improved the royalty we were getting from 5% to 10%. But if you read further, his position is that, look, we need to do ABCD. The question is, have we done the ABCD? And that is why I said earlier that the minister should not have looked at just Section 25 of the Act 706 of 2006. He should have also triggered what is captured in Section 110, subsection U, where he could bring an LI to Parliament, demanding that we have a specific rate of the royalties that we will get. Because, listen, tomorrow if there is another entity that is prospecting in another part of this country and we gets lithium there, are you going to say that because we couldn't arrange this one better, because we had just 10% of this one, we're going to have yours maybe 15%?
So the Section 110 subsection?
Section U.
Okay, I'm trying to get the U.
So these are some of the issues. So my brother, No one is accusing anybody for anything. What we're simply saying is that we should look at best practices elsewhere. Surprisingly, the minister was also
Forms
making...
of application and licenses to be made or issue under this act.
Yes. You know, but surprisingly, the minister was also making reference to Mali. One of the reasons why there is a truncation of democratic rule in Mali, which is now being headed by a military junta, is because of arrangements such as they have. So for you to quickly tell us that, oh, if you look at the arrangement in Mali, ours is better. You look at the arrangement in, was it another Guinea or where, ours is better. That is not what we want to look at.
Yeah, but if he...
That is not what we are looking at.
He references Mali and says the arrangement in Mali is better.
No, arrangement ours is better.
Ours is better. It's fair. Because it's because of Mali's situation that has brought them to where they are today.
Ours is not fair. If Mali, they were comfortable with that arrangement, they wouldn't have been taking a decision now to more or less cancel and nationalize some of the arrangements they have had with France. Everybody knows that most, in fact, if not all, of the Francophone African countries, they are still under the subjugation of France. And the kind of arrangement they have in terms of the extraction of their minerals is just laughable. So for you to tell us that because these African countries, most of whom are French-speaking countries anyway, that the arrangement is this and ours is better, we should celebrate it. That is why I say it's a mediocre at best. Frankly speaking, we could have done better. We could have arranged it better. This rush in signing this, for me, simply doesn't make sense. And that is why I think that there are some concerns raised by distinguished individuals in this country that this deal ought to be looked at. And I hope that Parliament will not rush into ratifying this, except that we are provided with better particulars as what informed this 10% the minister had, without triggering the other aspects of the law.
Yesterday, I made reference to the 3 byproducts of this mineral, which includes kaolin, silica, and feldspar. Now, Dr. Kwame makes this point. He says that, speaking on Newsfile, he said very little emphasis is being placed on the byproducts in the public space. The 3 major byproducts and the impact on our industrialization. According to him, discussions of the lithium deal, if properly managed, on the industrialization and manufacturing downstream effect will help this country. And the byproducts, I gave you benefits of them.
But Andy,
quickly, I'm going for
it is clear that out of all that is why we are insisting that there must be an in-country refinery to add value to it, to become a source of raw material for industrialization and all that. Again, let me say the emphasis on the 10% royalty. If we go the option of royalty system agreement, obviously it's the best. It's the best that we have had so far.
In the royalty, royalty contract.
In the royalty contract, it's the best. Beyond that, MEF usually holds 10% interest in all mining concessions on behalf of this country. Now we have 19% in the same agreement. We have 1% compulsion. The emphasis is more. CSR is never a compulsion for any company to undertake CSR jobs in this country. They decide what to do. But this time, this same agreement is telling you, you cannot do anything less than 1%. You are under obligation to do that once you sign this agreement. So we should also bear that in mind. Again, the lawyers spoke about the fact that we don't have representation even on a board. You should read the agreement. There are 2 reps on the board of the company, Ghanaians. So this is much improvement. But I will not say that we cannot strive.
Maybe it's an improvement, but not much improvement.
It is much.
It's just your selection of words.
No, it is much. It's extremely better. It is much to the extent that all the things we are talking about here, tell me which mineral agreement that has been signed in this country that places compulsion on the part of the company to do 1% of their income for community, corporate social responsibility in this country. There hasn't been anything like this in this country before. Tell me if I'm lying. MEF, what is the interest they hold for us in this country? Maximum 10%. There's been significant improvement to 19% as we are talking about. Board composition that he talked about. I'm referring to the things he talked about. Board composition, the lawyer.
Okay.
So, look, even if you get 90%, the people will tell you get 95%. So there's nothing wrong with that. Again, Mutala, it is not for nothing that today when you are speaking on matters of trade, because of your experience, you speak with much authority better than somebody who has not had that industry experience. Don't underestimate that. Somebody like Sam Jonah, somebody like Kobna Dufo. Look,
nobody questioned their capacity.
No, but when you are saying that it's an emotional matter.
No, I'm saying that you don't need to be an expert.
No,
you just need common sense.
No, please.
To compare,
please.
I'm coming.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this.
What expertise do
when
you
we are talking of,
what expertise do you need to say that we got 10%? When we used to get 5%. Couldn't we have gotten better? What expertise do we need in this?
Getting 10%, it is not on a vacuum. Or getting 5% not on a vacuum. On the basis of fact, figures, analysis, and trend. That informs
what governs that.
It reminds me of a government agreement to purchase some helicopters for the police service. When the report came to Parliament, a banter between Agaga and Okujeto Ablakwa. Agaga said, look, I've been a deputy minister, I've traveled, I've been an industry person and all that. Your emotions can take you without facts, figures to back. Look, you've cited the pricing, the importance of lithium in the next generation, the impact it is going to make on the economy and all that. These are fact, figures that we are speaking
that can be analyzed by common sense.
Exactly. Look, of course, you may have a common sense, but you don't have an expert opinion on a matter.
What governs this arrangement? Is it not law? All this arrangement
is law.
Hold on.
But before you make it craft a law, it must be premised on something. It just don't come on the basis of the fact that you are drafting a law. How do you draft a law?
No, listen. What governs this arrangement?
Yes.
The contractual arrangement we have had, or the lease arrangement we have had with that company is law.
Of course.
These are lawyers. This is a former Chief Justice. Hold on. We are looking at the legal implications.
No, but
at this point in time, it's purely legal.
But it is not. If you want to make the argument, it's just legal. Is every lawyer that can sit and
I listen to you.
What are we talking about?
Common sense
I haven't said that it should be legal. You are telling us.
But that's what you are saying.
Hold on. I listen to you. Just listen to me.
Please.
Your argument is that you need to be.
I'm giving you instances that makes it
you need to have the
and much improved of what we've had.
If you finish that, you need.
So at the time you were signing 5%, we didn't have common sense.
You are telling.
Is that what you're saying?
You are telling us that. You are telling us that you need to be an expert to be able to engage in this discussion.
It helps.
Hold on. Nobody says it doesn't. Don't get me
wrong.
So
when you say it's emotional and common sense, at the time you were signing 5%, you were not having common sense.
Please.
What are you talking about?
First and foremost, a lot of the arrangement we have had in terms of the extraction of our minerals, if you appreciate our political history, you would understand why we agreed with some of those arrangements, which today everybody is condemning. If they were so good, why are we condemning them? So if you are telling me that you need to be an expert or have the expertise to be able to engage in this, I say that assuming you have no legal background, you have no expertise in law, and then your expertise is just in mining, how will you come with such an arrangement? The contractual arrangement, the lease agreement, was governed by law. And you have a former Chief Justice. And I think that she has the capacity to proffer a solution in this mess which is created. So don't sit here and tell me that for you to engage in this, you must be an expert. Common sense. If you're an expert, you don't have common sense, you have nothing. In fact, expertise and legal knowledge is supported by common sense. Those ones are all common sense. So this argument of trying to insulate, hold on, this argument of trying to insulate
the kind of argument
this argument
there are judges in this country who are to be trained on some sections
nobody says
areas
they
for them to adjudicate matters in that area.
So Lithium, for the former Chief Justice to be able to comment on this, she must take some Lithium 101 to appreciate. This argument is bizarre.
Permit me here, where MTN is also giving you some download your Momo app, Play Store, App Store for your day-to-day transactions to a merchant either through the QR code or a merchant ID and stand a chance of winning 1,000 Ghana cedis weekly and making amazing prizes. So our merchants are also not left out. It says that receive payments and win and keep using your Momo Pay or Momo app and get rewarded. So Just go onto the website www.momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh for the Momo business account today. And it's a Momo season. It says Momo, it's with Momo Pay. Terms and conditions apply. Also, with your kids trying to brush their teeth and they're having difficulty, get them the Kel Kids toothpaste. It's actually flavored with strawberry, so it makes it attractive and nice for them to actually brush their teeth themselves, right? So, Kel Kids toothpaste is recommended for children between the ages of 2 to 6 years. A product from Samara Company Limited and also approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Kel Kids Happy Smile. Lift and elevator is also available for you for, fitting in your homes. If you are finding difficult climbing your stairs, you just want to call Lift and Elevators on 020-5355-515 or on their email is elevators@gmail.com for some discussion and consultations, and they will help you. They can fit for you in 3 days. Lift and elevators for you. Our alternative medical hospital is also available for all your healthcare diseases, and they also for consultations, counseling, physiotherapy, and homeopathic medicine. They open from Monday to Saturday at 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sunday it's 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call Amen Alternative Medical Hospital on 0207-229-505 or 0244-227-192 to book your appointment. Amen Alternative Medical Hospital, God is your healer. And also with your print works that you want, all at Black Star Press Limited, we print everything except money. Call them on 0200-880000 for all your print works. Let me take a breather. I'll be back shortly, and then we'll go into other issues. We'll be back.
Should be Ghana's policy on the exploitation. I like the word exploitation because it means you have it and you are now making the most of it. Yes, so the extraction, the processing.
So many styles to choose, but there's only one sure way to pay.
MTN.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ampedu.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sam.
How is business doing?
My business is collapsing.
Why is your business collapsing?
I sold my products and services to my clients on credit, and my debtors are not paying their debts.
Have you heard of Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company operating in all the 16 regions of Ghana?
Not at all.
Mr. Ampedu, all you need to do is to contact them on their customer service line. I recommend Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company to financial institutions, businessmen and businesswomen, other companies, and also individuals. Rosic Consult has 98 point items, and we pre-finance the recovery ourselves.
What if the answer to powering and running a clean, efficient, and sustainable business now lies within your reach? What would you do? All you have to do is reach out to the AGI Energy Service Center. We provide tailor-made energy saving solutions to businesses. We provide you with solar feasibility studies, energy audits, energy efficiency trainings, and financial advisory services. Visit agiesc.com for more information or call us on 0507 977 902. AGIESC, Sustainable Energy for Profitability, an initiative of the Association of Ghana Industries in partnership with the German Development Corporation, implemented by GIZ.
Discover the perfect blend of quality, modern elegance, and affordability with Kingdom Home Real Estate. At Kingdom Home Real Estate, we cater to both local and international clients, offering exceptional housing options in Ebri and Ikropong. Our properties are conveniently located, providing a tranquil atmosphere, top-notch security, and essential amenities such as electricity, water, and backup generators. Our strategic locations offer easy access to popular tourist destinations, all within a 30-minute drive from Accra. Visit us in Ikropong right after the Latte Junction, or in Ebri near the Ebri Girls Senior High School. Alternatively, you can reach us Kingdom Home Real Estate, where your dream home becomes a reality.
We are back, bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two, with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot. You always get way more with Betway.
For over 20 years of serving the world with herbal and alternative medicine, we've been successful in treating complicated medical conditions with a perfect combination of herbal and alternative methods of treatment, like homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology, and many more. We deliver excellent and effective service to people from all walks of life through scientific and traditional means. We have a well-equipped laboratory with advanced diagnostic and treatment devices to help detect your illness, so we know the right medication to be given. At Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital, we are proud manufacturers of our own herbal medication. Our zeal and passion to save lives with our patients at heart and outstanding achievements since 1996 has won us several awards. That is why we say, go herbal, go Amen. We are located everywhere in all the regions. Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allahu Shafi, God is the He.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say, but as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Everybody knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chesena me ankasa me period no say problems wom ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asam ketewa na mkwan point no mo hwe me modem no mo hwe bibia na so mo medu me fire no ene ma won kra mienu foforo kwa na mkwan mu a eba and everything yourself
me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko end point o mama nuru a ene ne ho idea watimi asori anante.
That's end point for you of Acrobato. Hello ohwehwe what chair okay a free bra wo di end point wa dance am me ko ye no me Joseph Sema na nkoye and person my nyina and imagine sabema na me be for there the one nyina jaresa. You heard everything. I have secret. M-Punch is my secret. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. I'm free.
Mommy.
Michelle say, fe.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Chocolate Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Yenchi. Kel Chocolate Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
She rather is raw. A day simani sweet. Doctor said operation. Cataract surgery. Miss raw.
Minia. Ustro say. Sisia Dr. Agawa ama operation ya yes simple krum ha won't say. Sisia there no ABS.
ABS. And also the
ABS na chese. No anesthesia. No bleeding. No suture. Unks na hospital hokra nche. Obeji disenra. Mekoye surgery.
Sa.
Ani ene se medi ye medwuma na you. Se me need ho clear.
Wow. Na simple sa. O se hospital by no.
Dr. Agawa's Eye Hospital no. Ebentesano Police Station wa. Frewen ne ya. Was 0501 534 498 and 0553 019 311.
Dr. Agawa's Eye Hospital for eyes like new.
All right, you're welcome back to the program. I'm still in the studio with the Honorable Member of Parliament for Tamale Central Constituency, Ibrahim Richala Mohammed, and also Sylvester Tete, who's Member of Parliament for Botiano Englishi, Amanfro Constituency. There's a message that I received from Kweku Bako. He says that, what was the former Chief Justice really saying in what you read? Clarity, where art thou? It's a question he's asking. Fuichi Kata is a lawyer with expertise in or on natural resources, and it comes with an exclamation mark.
Who's under my senior comrade?
Yes, please.
Senior, you just need to have common sense to take a position on this matter. No, so he's trying to tell us that Fuichikata, I respect a very intelligent. No, very intelligent.
A renowned lawyer
doesn't mean you are
but
expert
what
in
I'm
everything.
saying, when you say renowned lawyer, I respect that, but I'm saying that let us not in this discussion exclude those we deemed not to have the expertise. I'm saying that you don't need to be an expert to be able to comment on matters such as this. You just need to have common sense.
Oh, okay. So Mansa Musa is saying that on Facebook, the three of you, Mutala's Mohammed's volume is on the low. Okay, so please check it for me.
No, he caused it. He caused it.
Please check Mutala's. And your first lawyer contributor on Lithium debate has destroyed the reasons of those in favor of the current deal completely this morning on the show.
What? Yes.
This lease agreement, those who support are suggesting that amongst the other worst deals, we have got the best, so we should be grateful. This is the worst example of what is known as race to the bottom. Instead of cascading to the top maximum level of benefits, we're rather being asked to rejoice in receipt of the least best offer. Okay, but what are you comparing to? The least best offer. This is wrong. Good morning, Mansa Musa from UK. Thank you for that. Kizito from Tema East says that the contract signing is a japadie in disguise. The government is bent on destroying the country before leaving office. How can we keep on doing things the old way? Can't there be a nationalistic view of the press admonished, nationalistic view as the press admonished all Ghanaians to be citizens and not spectators? This will be another scandal on the government if Parliament does not ratify it. Can't Ghanaians explore? And is there not a fund established to take care of exploration?
Only the $250 million we are spending on the offices of Bank of Ghana, which is absolutely needless, could have been spent to do this for the state.
In your opinion?
And over $200 million to dig the deepest manhole in the history for the purposes of putting up the cathedral could have been used for that. It's not my opinion, it's the opinion of many people, including the former
What are the use of
Justice.
students in the UMAT and KNUSC who have studied geography? Ghana can solely mine this without any external influence. The 24-hour economy can solve this, you think? Okay. Evans Dinko from Garu says, Annie, good morning. My regards to the comrade Mutala. Annie, I find the NPP comparison of the lithium mining agreement of Ghana with the other countries, including West African countries like Mali, interesting. These are the very people, when it comes to COVID-19 and economy, NPP says no comparison. You see how these people became mafias over their people. Okay, please.
Example.
Please. What lawyer Isaac Minta is saying is exactly the facts. Those negotiating the agreement lack the appreciation of the structured transaction. They must engage professionals with the exposure and experience to assist them structure appropriately. Thank you.
I never said you need only common sense. I said you need to have common
why
sense.
Why are we in a hurry with this lithium agreement? The majority in parliament is not going to help us to give the country a good deal. I don't trust them. From Alhaji Haruna, centered in Ashaiman. Thank you. But let me just go straight into we were dealing with some headmasters who have been interdicted. And stop charging unauthorized fee to avoid interdictions. Charge to, and that's the headline. Stop charging unauthorized fees to avoid interdiction. Okay. So the Conference of Heads of Assistant Secondary Schools (CHAS) has appealed to head teachers across the country to desist from the students students charging unauthorized fees. Zakaria Suleiman Yebo, Ashanti Regional Chairman of the CHAS, cautioned head teachers to stringently comply with the Ghana Education Service Directive to avert interdictions. This comes on the back of the interdiction of 11 head teachers for allegedly charging fees not sanctioned by the Ghana Education Service. Now, in an interview with City FM, Mr. Yeboah said that we have advised them, we are still advising them to stick to the rules of the game. It's funny, eh? I just think that CHAS now knows that most of the headmasters are in the practice. For whatever reason, I don't want to state. You know my position. I said something on this yesterday. But we have informed them to henceforth, all items that students are supposed to buy should stop. They should stop. They should stop it. And they should. And then those who are not doing it too, they have to keep their faith in the rules. And I must say that in the Ashanti region, we have almost 151 senior high schools. So if 7 out of the 151 have been found culpable, I think the rest are doing the right thing. Okay, let me end it here. The interdicted headmasters, interdicted SHS heads ignored GES directive, PRO. The head of the public relations unit of the Ghana Education Service, Cassandra Chumampofu, says that the 11 senior high schools heads interdicted by the service blatantly ignore directives. Some 11 SHS have been asked to step aside for investigations to proceed for allegedly selling unapproved items and charging unauthorized fees in their respective schools. The Ghana Education Service, in separate statement, noted that it has initiated investigations into the conduct of the head teachers. I know 4 of them have been charged or something like that. Interdicted. It's a quote, our biggest worry is the fact that they were not allowing the students to go through the admission process unless items were bought, he stated. There's another one that has, okay. GES, Peter Notukucho, he's a ranking member of Education Committee in Parliament. So the ranking member of the Education Committee in Parliament, Peter Notukucho, has criticized the Ghana Education Service for its handling of the allegations against the 11 senior high school head teachers who have been interdicted for allegedly charging unauthorized fees. Mr. Kutoi suggested that the GES should have managed the situation more effectively by ensuring that the accused head teachers were given a fair hearing before the decision to interdict them was made. The Akachi North legislator, Peter Notukutoi, expressed his dissatisfaction with the action taken by GES. Quote, we are aware of a firm instruction have been issued to the heads of the various schools, senior high schools in the country, but I will say that they are working under certain conditions that makes it difficult for them to deliver their mandate. Okay, I have one from, I think, okay, I'll capture it. I'm not sure where my statement is, but when I see it, I'll read it later. I'll look for it. I can't find my papers. Let me start with you. Honorable Mutala, what exactly do you think is happening to these schools? the fact that a number of them are all involved. I just feel like maybe the teachers may have spoken at a certain level that, listen, we have to do something, to represent something. So they've all agreed that they will do things to make life comfortable for them in the schools. But wrong is wrong.
And I want to comment on this, not just as a politician or a member of parliament, but as a teacher myself. My understanding of what constitutes teaching...
I'm sorry, this is what I was looking for. Semblance of perfect free SHS created. Kabonu says initiatives that create semblance of imperfection attract interdiction. The president of the Graduate Teachers Association of Ghana, Mr. Angel Kabonu, has criticized government for fostering an environment of apparent perfection in the implementation of the Free Senior High School program. Mr. Kabonu comments come in the wake of the interdiction of 11 head teachers for imposing unauthorized charges during the ongoing admission process for the first-year students. Speaking on Class FM, Mr. Kabonu warned the teachers to strictly adhere to the government's directive to avoid initiatives that might lead to their interdiction. Quote, what we're having now is an attempt to create a semblance of a perfect atmosphere under free SHS school, and anyone who takes any decision that will create a semblance of an imperfection situation, that person is interdicted, unquote.
Annie, I said my comments on this is not going to be based on the fact that I'm a politician and a parent. It is going to be based on the fact that, one, I'm a teacher, and two, I'm also a parent who has a child in a secondary school. And of course, as a member of parliament like my colleague, we virtually have a lot of students in our constituencies who are students of these, schools. And to be very honest with you, I agree with Mr. Kabonu. Anybody who thinks that the free SHS is perfect may be needing a psychiatric attention. It is certainly not perfect. Certainly, let's admit that there are challenges, and that is why President Mahama indicated that he would be reviewing the free SHS. Our friends, in their understanding, they felt that review means cancellation. You have leading members of this government who have come to agree with President Mahama that there is a need for us to properly review the free SHS and perhaps do some impact assessment so that we can find the challenges, how we proffer solutions to those challenges to be able to attain that level of perfection as we want. I do not agree with any teacher or head teacher who charges fees. That is illegal. I do not agree. But the question then is, are they charging those fees to spend the money? Are the fees that are being charged, are parents agreeing to pay those fees, or parents are forced, or students are forced to make those payments? These are teething questions that we all need to ask. If you go to the secondary schools, as we are being told that it is free, yes, on paper it is free, but in reality it is not. It is not because students now spend lesser time in school, more time at home, and parents now spend more money financially to be able to get their students up to speed. As a member of parliament, I had to organize free classes for students who are in the school because they do not, anytime they go, they are not able to finish their syllabuses and then they come home. My understanding of a teaching environment as a teacher is not just having students come to school, but the enabling environment where the teacher can teach so that the students can have that stability of mind to be able to absorb what the teacher is teaching. You go to some of the schools, the food they eat, there are some parents who won't give such foods to their dogs. I listened to a sister radio station on my way to this program, and one of the journalists said that he visited, in fact, specifically Maoli Secondary, that he visited there sometime last year, and that is his former school. When he went there, the students told him that they were taking Tom Brown without sugar, without milk, and without bread. Tom Brown. So they take Tom Brown without sugar, without milk. Just, I mean, clearly, it's just unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. So when you have a school such as that, and now the resources that are supposed to be provided, at least to provide even sugar, for example, or bread for these students to be able to eat, go to sit in their classes. When they are taught, they can absorb. The GES is not acting responsibly. The Ministry of Education is not providing the resources. The government is not providing the resources. If the school agrees with parents that because these resources seldom come, we want to put a fee such that parents can pay the fee or some money so we can be able to complement the little resources that the state provides. So we'll be able to teach your children very well. If parents agrees, what is wrong with that? Maybe accept that the GES is telling us, or the Ministry of Education is telling us that even if you want to take a decision such as that, you need to inform us. So if they inform you, you agree to take the decision. How about schools who do not have parents who can afford? Look, when we were kids growing up, we had some of our colleagues, and some of us, we attended Saito schools, and I tell people that we are fortunate to have attended Saito schools because it makes you stronger. In the Saito schools, I don't know which school he attended. You will go to school and you don't find a colleague in school because that colleague did not have a slippers to come to school. Or someone comes to school, the dress is so torn, such a student may be feeling embarrassed to come to school again. How long will it take the parents to be able to afford that? That is why not just the NDC, civil society organizations who had the expertise, I come to your word because he seems to be so obsessed with expertise. Civil society organizations who had your expertise all argued that the free SHS was laudable, fantastic idea, but it was recklessly and haphazardly implemented. And you can liken it to the attempted restriction on importation of certain essential commodities in this country. What President Mahama did, which you ought to have followed, which indeed was supported by these civil society organizations that provide the necessary environment, put up the schools, improve upon the teaching and learning, expand the facilities. Because once you make it free, more and more students will be accessing, the secondary school education. But you don't do that, and you just say free because it suits the uncontrollable ego of the presidential candidate at the time. So I think we need to look at it holistically. Yes, teachers or head teachers do not have the right to charge fees, but in the absence of the fees they are charging, or the monies they are asking students to pay for the purposes of ensuring that teaching and learning goes on smoothly, is the Ministry of Education and Ghana Education Service prepared to provide those facilities, those basic.
But yesterday I listened to Cassandra who was saying that all the schools who have brought their problems forward, they have actually been able to answer some of the challenges. So if your school has a challenge, let the GES know. So when you don't go out
when
of your own.
Answered, what does it mean by answered?
Meets the challenges, provide the resources.
That's not true.
Provide the resources.
That is absolutely
not
true.
That's what she said.
I've just given an example of a radio station journalist who said he visited his school, his former school, Mauli Secondary, and the students were served with Tom Brown, without sugar, without bread. I mean, clearly, such a student goes to sit in the class, not only hungry, but completely frustrated. The teacher comes to teach. Textbooks are not available. How can the teacher teach us? Even if the teacher is the best teacher across the globe, just like the best deal we have had with this Lithium agreement, the best teacher in the world, and he's teaching a student who doesn't have that mental stability to absorb, that teacher will be wasting his time. So I'm saying that, yes, we can say that teachers and head teachers should not charge illegal fees. But in the absence of the illegal fees, how will teaching and learning take place? Is the Ghana Education Service and the Ministry of Education willing and prepared to provide the basic needs that will ensure that teaching and learning takes place in an environment that is conducive for students to absorb what they are being taught? And I think that this is completely missing. That is why this, for me, is an issue. So frankly speaking, to dismiss, to suspend teachers, or if you like, to interdict teachers for this, I think it's just unacceptable. I'll give you a classical example. In Tamale Central, those who know my former school, Kulkul School, it's in the heart of Tamale. There was a storm, so I provided some zincs and other materials for them to re-roof part of the school. When I went there, and I was presenting this to the head teacher, and all the teaching staff, they all came out to receive this. After we finished and I was having some interaction with some people, a teacher sent approached one of my guys and told that guy to tell me to visit the classes. So the guy asked him, why? You visit the classes. Honey, I was shocked. So when I finished and I went around the classes in the heart of Tamale, people in one of the classes were lying on their bellies.
How?
Yes. In the heart of Tamale. I've mentioned the name of
secondary school?
Yeah, Kulkulu school.
Senior high?
No, I mean basic school.
Basic, okay.
So I'm saying that I know why he could not, that teacher could not tell me boldly.
By himself.
Because the moment you are caught, even telling an MP or someone that these are the challenges we have, you are either interdicted or you are transferred to an area that you may not feel comfortable to go. For me, that is unacceptable. We live in a democracy. People, including teachers, should have the opportunity to express their convictions on issues. Look, students, teachers, and administrators of schools, particularly public schools, are suffocating. They have the problems. They can't say anything
but
because
Cassandra
the moment you speak
but Cassandra said, tell us. You report it to GES. So we are aware. Can you imagine this number of head teachers who have been interdicted, and we are investigating? When we're investigating, we check the records, and you have not even for once reported your situation to GES.
Annie, the example I just gave you at Kulku School, they reported this to the Metropolitan Education Directorate, time without number. Okay. Look, honey, I'll tell you one thing. In Tamale Central, look, you have the vehicles that are used by the Metropolitan Education Directorate. And the ties were completely gone. Since when have you become an umpire?
No, but you're speaking more than 15
The
minutes.
ties were completely gone.
Yeah.
It has to take the MP to procure those ties for it. Is it the responsibility of an MP?
Okay,
but you have to do that because you want teaching and learning to take place effectively within your area. Head teachers and administrators of schools are suffocating. When they say you speak out, honey, go to any school, identify a problem and interview a teacher. In a democracy, teachers are not supposed to be strangled. That even when journalists come to ask them problems, which they have reported to the Ghana Education Service for several times, they shouldn't speak out. You speak out, you'll be interdicted. I think it is just unacceptable.
Sly.
Are we closing at 10:30 or what are we closing?
so why?
I want to know what time we are closing.
Why do you want to know what time?
I want to know what time we are closing because it's 3 minutes to 10. So I don't want to tell me what time is up because it's spoken for more than 15 minutes and that's on record.
You have spent 5 seconds.
No problem. This is a lithium arrangement or lease mentality.
Listen to what the parliamentary dean said about the lithium. He said that, good morning, Annie. On a lithium agreement, I am happy no one is accusing the minister of breaching the law, but rather those who are against the deal in the current form are saying government can do better by scaling up the percentage. I therefore pray and hope MPs will place a bipartisan lenses on it when the agreement finally comes to Parliament. Thank you, Simon.
The minister didn't breach the law, but he avoided section 110 subsection. He avoided that. He could have taken advantage. What do you mean? What does he mean by that? He could have taken advantage of that to bring an LI to determine a specific rate. So please, let's not play around
these sections.
He avoided that section.
You see, sometimes I don't like people a pot calling the kettle black.
Which pot?
Please.
Which pot? What's the name of his conscience? The pot in your conscience.
Annie.
Botiano English.
The roads are we talking about? The roads that are not done in your conscience are worse than the pot.
What are we talking about, Annie? We are talking about indiscipline on the part of some heads of schools in this country. And we are not dealing with that. We are going on talking about matters in education generally.
I don't support any.
Please. No, but I was quiet. It's not that the things you were saying I couldn't have rebutted. Okay. But I think it's most unfortunate that discussion now being centered on the challenge. So it looks like you are rather supporting them for taking the actions they've taken, or many other people, including the ranking member of education who called for the suspended heads to be head. I mean, this is a ranking member of education committee. What should Ministry of Education do? GES should suspend and give them hearing. You don't give them hearing whilst
they are in office.
So I don't know.
No, but I was a little even disturbed when I read your story yesterday on the items that they were collecting the money for. There was something called, he said, basic needs of the school. Boiler fees, is that a basic need?
Look, Annie, these
ceremonial cloth.
No, sanitation. If sanitation is terrible.
And the ceremonial cloth, is that a basic need?
You see, you are still defending the food. You are still defending it.
They didn't say food.
No, but these are just examples.
You are still defending the wrongs by these hairs. I mean, you are still defending the indefensible, and this is the height of indiscipline in our society.
Which one? Who is?
Yeah, the kind of thing you are justifying the things.
Who is justifying what? I just told you that.
That's what you are doing.
Hold on,
please,
stop this hypocrisy.
No, please stop it.
I have just told you that I don't agree with that. But however, in the absence of those basic needs,
in the absence of those basics, you charge the students.
No, I'm not saying.
If you were head,
I say in the absence, will the state provide?
Even I'm happy that Charles itself is not happy with the conduct of the heads of these the affected heads of the schools. That we've been given clear-cut mandate how to administer a school. If you have
I can tell you that Charles is not rather happy with the interdiction.
Yes, but what are they?
They are warning them that, you know what, stay off, because if you do that, you'll be interdicted.
Why won't you be interdicted? Why won't you be?
So it doesn't mean that Charles is not happy what they are doing. It just means
if
that
your word goes to school against the school's code of conduct and the child is suspended or interdicted, you will not be happy, but obviously you know what the child has done is wrong.
Okay, well,
that's what it is.
But won't the child be given hearing?
If you don't suspend your interdiction, how would they give you hearing?
Oh,
the hearing don't come before the interdiction, because you are post, you committed.
Because if you listen to this guy, yes,
the Minister for Health,
if you listen to
Sputnik V, when he had the problem, did you interdict? Did you ask him to step aside?
So what are you for?
I'm saying that the
are
minister,
you for the heads?
Sputnik V, did you ask the minister when we call that the minister should be asked to step aside? Did you agree?
What is happening here?
Mr. Kabonu is also saying
you are behaving like the hairs who have been interdicted.
He is saying that.
And you are behaving like
the
Minister for Health.
If you make the semblance of a perfect PSHS look like it's an imperfect one, you'll be interdicted. But his words.
This is another irresponsible statement from him. If that's to say he suggests that he supports them, it's an irresponsible statement to say.
Oh, really?
Yes, to the extent that, look,
wow,
if you are head of a school, right? You are head of a school. There's a problem.
Now he's an expert in education.
You know the channel of communication. You are head of a school. Those heads of schools.
A moment ago, you were talking about experts.
Would a teacher, a course teacher, or any subordinate in that school take a matter from the school to a regional superior officer, or to take an action by even surcharging schools in the classroom? Would that head be happy about it? You are to instill discipline, and you yourself are not disciplined. You must deal with the conduct of the heads. And he says that if you try to make an imperfect situation a perfect, what is it trying to talk about?
You're not an expert.
You need an expert on this.
No, but he just said
in this situation, do you think that experts
will
will be appropriate to discuss this issue?
Experts will be what?
In terms of education.
What are you talking about?
Those with expertise.
You heard my question.
Of course, but if you are discussing education, you need experts in the industry to discuss it.
So
at least
I'm coming to a point.
For what I'm discussing indiscipline on the part of
I'm just
I mean, you don't need a degree in indiscipline.
Okay.
So you don't need a degree to have common sense.
No, I'm not. But
you don't need a degree to have common sense.
The point I was trying to
you sit here and think that all you need to discuss lithium and mineral agreement is common sense.
That's not what I said.
That's what you are saying.
No,
and that's what he's saying.
Oh, that's not the point.
But that's what he's been saying from time of old.
I said you don't. I said you don't need.
The people who are against it and those who are for. It is on record that those who are for have had some industry experience.
Kabonu has more experience than you. You said it's an irresponsible.
But he is against it.
You said it's an irresponsible.
He is not against the.
So everybody must support.
He is not against the interdiction of the school. Yes, he's not against the interdiction.
Everybody must support.
But try to make it look like you are here and saying
that. But why are you describing his statement as irresponsible?
And the basic needs they don't have, they should go and search out the students.
Have I said that?
It's a height of indiscipline. It's a height of indiscipline.
Yesterday.
So if you are playing this mystery by telling me, do I have an expert opinion on the matter? Then you yourself, you agree with him to say that the only thing you need to discuss lithium agreement and mineral agreement in this country is common sense.
Do you listen to yourself?
Who is listening to
you? You were arguing on the,
you
were arguing on the basis of expertise.
At least the people
and an expert has issued a statement or made a statement, and you think that expert statement is irresponsible. And she's simply asking you whether you agree. Those who should engage in this should be experts.
They don't support the HES.
It doesn't matter.
And you are saying that the wording of his statement is to suggest that, okay, you are ahead. If you don't want to be suspended, something is happening. Don't take steps to correct it. That's an irresponsibility.
That's not what he said.
That's an irresponsibility.
That's what I'm doing.
It's in English. It's semantics. It's English.
Exactly.
It's English. And you think it cannot be interpreted?
So the point
it's a height of hypocrisy.
The point I was coming to with expertise is that...
Oh, it has moved from irresponsibility.
I referenced the appointment, the new appointment of the GES. I mean, when he was being appointed. And the...
You are not referencing it?
Yes.
So you don't say you reference it.
We're talking about expertise.
Don't say you reference. You are not referencing it.
I referenced it yesterday.
But I'm not on the show yesterday. I wasn't on the show.
So when you are giving examples about things that happened, who had problems?
So you are bringing the yesterday's program.
I'm repeating the reference.
Okay.
Because there's a development of the...
That one. Okay, let me go. Let me hear
and what I'm trying to say is, since we're talking about expertise, I'm not sure how the GES...
you and who are talking about expertise, because since I am talking about expertise.
Oh, you are talking about expertise.
So
when you are here talking about the rules in your conscience, is it the topic we are discussing?
This is you.
But you are comfortable to talk about them. The rules in your conscience. Was it the topic we were discussing?
Since you are talking about expertise.
I mean, let me say this.
No, it's like,
for me,
since you are talking
I've visited schools.
The appointment of the GS boss, the education organizations or the committees, they were actually criticizing. Sakaboni is one. They were criticizing that the GES boss is a banker and not an educationist. They said he's not even taught before. And yesterday, your rep on the show actually reminded me that, well, he's worked with the Ministry of Education before. So he's probably must have been introduced or, learned on the job.
What's your point?
So my point is
what's your point?
With a man of this
without
nature,
any expertise
and without having taught in any school, if these situations arise,
being an administrator means you should work you should have taught before becoming an administrator.
For
so
what?
You can learn on the job.
But what are you talking about? Mutala was appointed a deputy minister for trade. Has he ever worked in that industry?
Oh yes, I did.
Oh please.
Oh yes, I did.
You worked where?
Yes, I did.
You worked where?
Go and ask.
You worked
hold on.
I'm only asking a simple question. You worked where?
I want to answer you.
I want to answer where you work.
I want to answer you.
Don't tell me you go and ask anybody.
Those in Tamale.
He's working for 50 million.
Those in Tamale know that me, my house, we have been engaged in trading. I was born virtually. No, I'm telling you. I have been. No, he's acting. I don't have any expertise, and I'm saying that I have been. He said I didn't have any expertise. I'm telling that I have been a member of Guta. So if he says that you are not fit to be a deputy minister for trade,
I didn't say you were not fit. So please don't quote me.
No, but if he says you have expertise,
I'm referring to the fact that
you have expertise in road.
You need to
have. Do you have expertise in road construction? Do you have expertise in road construction?
I'm not a road contractor.
But you are talking about roads here of your conscience.
You shouldn't misconstrue the
road. Are you an engineer?
Let me say that there are industries that you need technical. Look, when the Atrabo gas plant was built, until MPP came into office, it was manned by Chinese experts. So Mutala is saying that
Ghanaians were involved.
I'm saying that the leadership.
What kind of arrangement?
Please. The engineers at the plant was managed by Chinese people.
That is not true. I am saying that if you hold on.
Would you allow me to finish?
Okay, finish.
So does it mean that
finish well?
All of you didn't have common sense? NDC.
I say finish well.
At the time, you didn't have common sense.
Expertise.
Until MPP came.
You brought the expertise.
We brought
expertise is yours. Common sense is ours. No, expertise is yours.
So you didn't have common sense.
Common sense is ours.
Because all you needed was a common sense to manage the Atrabo gas pipeline.
Social democrat.
But who said?
What are you talking about? So they didn't have common sense.
No, who said?
So NDC didn't have common sense.
Who said you need?
So Chinese people were managing the Atrabo gas. Plant.
Who said you need only common sense?
Until Dr. Asante came.
Who said you need only
common
sense?
Ghanaians who are now managing it fully. So you didn't have common sense at the time. So what I'm saying
is getting bizarre. Who said,
it is not getting bizarre.
Who said you need only common sense to do that?
But that's what you said here.
Okay. You were saying expertise, and I said that you just need common sense to know this is unacceptable.
He's asking me of the list. I think I mentioned some. He says, what are the items the headmasters are charging the unauthorized fees for? Do you have the list? Well, I mentioned about two of them. So I remember the baller task. tax. And
Can you imagine
that?
Head of the school
So it means that their ballers are not even clean.
And I remember,
isn't that the responsibility of the state?
You wake up tomorrow, go to Tamale Central.
If you don't clean their baller, how do they do? They should leave it. They should leave the rubbish.
No,
so if you don't do that,
Prosper says that, hi Annie, good morning. Please tell my brother Honorable Mutala to kindly tone down with his choice of words. He can be harsh sometimes.
What did I say?
Send my regards to my brother Honorable Sly and tell him that there are people within his enclave who are already willing to help fix the roads. They claim he is unreachable. Please, when they call you, they are ready to help.
This is a serious accusation.
They say you're unreachable.
Who is that?
Well, are you?
I want to know.
Are you going to question his expertise
no, but
I
want to know what they want to fix them. How do they fix them?
You know, when we started, you actually referred to me as Randy. And then this one too, I saw a message. I didn't.
That one too, he has expertise in
identifying
gender.
Another message has come. It says, "Is Mutala referring to you as Annie or Oni?"
Annie, let me.
That's an interesting one.
So this is the second time that same message has come. Guess who is coming from?
Don't mind him.
She said,
don't mind her.
I'm not calling you Annie or Oni.
Don't mind her.
In fact, you are calling me Oni. Stop it.
Annie.
So I'm sorry. I don't know what it says that Annie. Yeah. Oh, this one I won't read that side, but I read it.
She also said honey.
So Timothy Atabadi, I will say from Brisa North, former Brisa North MP, says that is Sandema Upper East region of the Republic. Oh, okay. Don't listen to Cassandra Annie. Annie, you don't know what's happening in our SHS schools. You need.
It's serious.
You need Cassandra to tell you. Okay, it's a question. Well, good morning, Annie. Head teachers should think outside the box and make their school work. Teachers in their promotion interview should be asked to produce a paper on their vision for the schools. It's not always collecting money from the kids that will solve the problem. Some people are being sacked for lack of vision in their workplaces. NAGRA should think outside the box. Mark from USA. I actually agree with you, you know. Tafa from Amahia says, Annie, we don't need any mining of our natural resources till we have a good leader who can make mining beneficial to us or beneficiary. Lawyer says that okay, I'll read this later. Yes, I just wanted to take a break and come back. What do you want to say? Yes, I'll come back.
I want to deal with this issue of a community wanting to construct a road. And
you're not willing
to help. Please. I wonder the kind of help people say. Look, I'm on record. The amount of cement I've donated for self-help projects.
So maybe they are willing
I've
to
just
help.
told you 400 trips of latrite, and there are evidence from my pocket, not from Common Fund, not from anywhere, in that constituency.
So if people are saying they want to help, what's wrong with that?
Mutala, stop this. I'm dealing with matters in my constituency. I don't like that.
Don't get angry. You are my brother.
No, please, you are my brother, but I'm dealing with the matter. Somebody have put this out there that they want to help, and I'm reachable.
Okay.
I've heard this one too many.
Okay.
The only thing they'll ask you, when is our road being fixed? I do my community, my people. There's no community I've not visited. And as I speak to you, some of the latrite on the roads are available. There are places I cannot help to reshape it. The extent of damage on the roads, you cannot help to fix it.
Yeah.
So when people say they are willing to help, I beg them, they should go to the municipal assembly or go to urban roads. They have money. These issues that we want to help, how do you help?
The country is broke.
How do you help? People, I want to take his number and I want to know the area where he lives.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
I will give you. There's no area that the area is it can reshape that I've not made an intervention. I challenge anybody to come
I'll give it to you. Let's go for a break and come back.
You see, what the rules is a symptom of
the
failure of your government.
You had rules.
In servicing, car accessories, and car washing. Visit us today and experience the world of class difference. Find us today at Asoridaho, directly opposite Dansoman KFC and the Shell filling station. For more details, you can call us on 0503 244 266 or 0535 33 9823. Nado Motor Fix. Wokwanso Nyonko Papa.
The 14th edition. 23. The prestige.
And what if you want some money? Remember that Who's Got the Money, Got the Power. So Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adum TV at 9 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. daily. So pick up your phones and join the game. It says that you can play on the games app on Play Store, or you can also play on the website www.gameparkgames.com or dial *946# on all networks. So just choose from the number 029. It's easy to play and easy to win. Now, Kel Kids Charcoal toothpaste is also available for everybody, including kids. And this one, the kids are from 6 and above, all right? Remember that the kids one is from 2 to 6, but the general one is for 6 and above. So it's made from charcoal. You have the natural absorptive property of charcoal and helps remove bacteria and products from bad breath mouth, hence giving you the fresh breath. And it's formulated and produced under strict hygienic conditions as well, approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. So in another quality products from Samara Company Limited, so contact them for some more. Angel Cola is also available with some more different flavors: orange, mango, peach, and apple lime. So this season, you want to grab some for your parties and events, including children. They can also have a taste of Angel Cola. Contact them on 0244-832-2286 or 0507-868668. And Kingdom Real Estate is also making available some space for you to, grab a property. So Kingdom Real Estate provides quality and affordable housing facilities on sale. And the facilities are located around the Ikropong and Ebri Ridge with some best weather conditions as well. So it's a 30-minute drive from Accra. But, if you want the property, you pay 70% upfront, and then 30% will be spread for over 2 years for you to finish it. It's located near Ebri, close to the Ebri Girls and the Kropong, right after the Latte Junction. Call them on 0559 6761 144 or 0555 621 611. And the website is www.kingdomhomerealestate.com, and also on Facebook. Visit them there. Makers Electronics is also making available 67% discount on all selected electronic appliances: Samsung, LG, Moved, NASCO, TCL, Media, and Toshiba. And with our outstanding customer service, you can get all that you want. You visit their showrooms at Taifa Burkina Highway, Amasaman, Juzango Junction, Oyarefa, Teman Junction, Kaswat New Markets, Ashaman Valco Flat, Kumasi Ahinema Kokobing, and also Takradi Ifukuma number 9 Market. Call them on 0552 222 253 or 0552 222-254. Makers Electronics, they are large and in charge. Go for 67% of discounts. 67% of discount. Someone sent me a very alarming message that shocked me a bit. Helga, she says that tell our government that officers are asking for 25,000 cedis to place our children in schools. 25,000 category A. 15,000 category B, and its officers are the GES who are doing this. Why haven't they been interdicted? And these are, allegations, I would say. I can't confirm yet, but she says we are suffering. So maybe, as I put this out, this is very sensitive for some further investigation to be taken up. If GES officials are watching, 25,000 for category A, and 15,000 for category B. That's what they're charging. I don't. It's an allegation, but these are parents that sent this.
Anna is brought to you by MTN.
Are you tired?